Hey yo, hey yo, what up, what up, what up? What's good, everybody? What's good? It's me, it's your man, it's your boy Alpha the First One. Shout out to the night shift, shout out to the overtime crew, shout out to the night prep, shout out to the nurses that are working in the ICU. I will never, ever, ever forget about y'all because I am you. If y'all are looking at the stream, this will be my last time using this slideshow, showing you me smiling, me frowning. My car, me working on my car, the E-Way saw it. I'm in the bottom corner. Just showing y'all that I am a person. I'm a human being. I'm a man. That's all I am. And that's all I'm ever going to be. I'm not perfect. I never claimed to be. But I do claim to have what? I got the solution. That's right. I do have the solution. And I did a video called what? The solution is the problem. See? That is the problem. So what I'm talking about tonight is exactly why we need the solution, and is exactly why the solution is the problem. What am I talking about tonight? I'm doing a part two on what I said before, which is what? It's time to get off the dating apps. Yes, it is time for you to get off the dating apps. I'm going to try to keep this short, real short. The goal is to keep it under 30 minutes. So let's see if I can do it. Let me get into the game. All right, so what I just read something online where, and I guess I'm late. Maybe I'm late, and that's okay. Some of y'all might know about this, and that's fine. If you knew about this, let me know if you know about something. Drop it in the comment section. You know, if you know something that I don't know, I'm always willing to hear something on in dating and mating that I haven't heard. But I just heard about this awful move. I mean, it's a terrible move. It is the worst deal I've ever seen in my life in terms of dating and mating, and that is AI. Yes, the dating apps are going bankrupt. You can look this up. You can research it. Several dating app companies have laid off people. The dating app company called Match Group, which is the monopoly basically, they basically have a soft monopoly, right? They have now, I don't want to say they laid off, but they removed a position. They removed the COO, and now they're putting everything under the CEO. And essentially, they're just getting ready to lay people off. Because shout out to Gen Z, shout out to Gen Z, and shout out to Gen Y, my generation. Uh, we have decided that we don't want dating apps, which is good. And I'm reading several articles saying that many people, men and women, are tired of dating apps. They are burnt out on dating apps. They see dating apps as a scam. We just had a trial. I don't know the full. I don't know if the trial is over, but there's a trial called the dating app deleter. I don't want to say the word, but he was online deleting people, deleting women, I guess. Then we have dating app scammers, men and women, by the way. There was a woman, they caught her. She was running, she was setting men up on some type of, you know how they do these scams where you get in with the person and they try to get you into some kind of Ponzi scheme or something like that. They got a few women on that. And we all know our famous working girls. Shout out to the working girls. They are on the apps. There's been several men who have complained that they matched up with women and actually went to go on a date, and the women were literally sex workers. And the men didn't know that. You see, and I do believe that's true because there are some men out there who have very low dating and mating IQ. Yes, they have a very low dating and mating IQ, meaning they don't know nothing about the streets. And somebody who's been around the streets or from the streets or very familiar with the streets, they gonna know what's a working girl. You see what I'm saying? They gonna look at her and be like, yeah, that's a working girl. You see what I'm saying? Because you can pretty much either look at them or how they talk. You will know if a woman is a working girl. You see what I'm saying? So the dating apps have been pretty much a disaster. And whether y'all know this or not, I did some research on it, and I believe the first dating apps were literally for the rainbow crowd. Okay, it was for them, and then they opened it up to heterosexuals. And the rainbow crowd was literally, it was just for hookup. They never advertised those dating apps. I think it's called Grinder. I think it's called Grinder or Grindle. I'm not sure, but I think it's Grnder. That's where Tinder came from. So there was Grinder came first, then Tinder. This is my research I did on it. And the Rainbow people said, hey, that app was never about, getting married and finding, true rainbow love. It was always about hookup. So when it went over to Tinder, a lot of the rainbow people were laughing. they were like, well, what y'all think? Y'all think y'all gonna use a dating app and meet someone meaningful? Because I didn't even know this. I think this was going on in 2015 or something, or maybe earlier than that. I think it kind of started around that time. And a lot of the rainbow people, they knew about this. They was like, well, those dating apps were never intended for you to meet somebody. You know what I'm saying? It was always designed for you to do a hookup. That's what they were. So I guess when the Match company, they own Tinder and they own Hinge, and I think they own OkCupid. And they got a hold of it and they just applied it to heterosexuals. And the same outcome happened. You see how that worked? I think that's very unique. That the rainbow people, they started with the dating app and they got bad outcomes in terms of hookup, right? Meaning the dating apps are advertised. The way the dating apps are advertised, they are advertised that you're going to do what? Find true love. I remember way back when, I think it was like 2007, I want to say, I seen a commercial with this white guy and he was talking about Match. I think it was Match.com. I think that's the parent company, but that was the first kind of like website at the time. And I remember that website. And I remember specifically they advertised it as you're gonna find true love. You see what I'm saying? See, right off the top, that's number one. That's what makes the dating apps fail, in my opinion, because they advertise it as you're going to find someone significant. They don't advertise it as hookup. See? They don't advertise it as hookup. They advertise it as you're going to meet someone that could be your quote-unquote true love. See what I'm saying? But in fact, you just going to meet somebody that night that's either going to come over and blow you off or you're going to blow her back out. You see what I'm saying? So that's strike one against the dating app. Strike two against the dating apps is it literally, it basically makes men, as they call it on the streets, the men are the pay pigs. You see what I'm saying? The men are the pay pigs. They're the piggy bank. See, and I'm not sure. I can't confirm this because I did some research on it. I don't know if they charge every woman on those dating apps. I can't get confirmation on that. I've read some stories that said, I think Bumble does, because it's the one designed for women by a woman CEO. We'll get into her later, okay? But to my knowledge, and I might be wrong, I think men are the only one paying for those profiles. So that's strike two. See what I'm saying? In the age of where we're supposed to be equal and women are supposed to be boss chicks and everybody, I don't need a man and we all can do it on our own. And all of a sudden now this company, and we're all supposed to be equal, right? Okay. They're making men pay and they're not making women pay. Now, don't quote me on that. I have not got confirmation on that. But to my knowledge on this day, and I might be wrong, I don't think they're charging women for those profiles on multiple platforms. It's not just Tinder. It's a whole bunch of them. They're making men pay and the women are not. That's strike two. Okay? That is strike two, big time. That's telling you right there that why would now and this would be strike three. Strike three, everybody's now starting to accept this that these match company, these dating apps, it is a business. Okay, and I talked about this on my other video. They're in the business to make a profit off of your emotions. That's it. They're trying to make a profit off of one of the most vulnerable aspects of your life, which is dating and mating. See, and we already talked about how they got it set up like a casino where it's bells and whistles and lights and hearts. So if you look at those three things specifically to men, it was always a bad deal. It was always a bad deal for men, right? Who was on there who either was looking for true love. We know they wasn't getting true love. Some men was getting hookups, a lot of men was not. Number two, they were forcing men to pay and women to not pay. Now that's what I heard so far. If that's wrong, I'll stand corrected. If women have to pay for their profiles, if they have to pay anything, let me know in the comment section. To my knowledge, most of those websites, not all, most of them, the men were paying. And number three, they got to make a profit. So essentially, the men who are paying, right, why would they want you as a man to find somebody? Okay, that defeats what? The profit. Okay, so those three things alone is why I made my first video, and a lot of people agree with me. Well, I'm doing this part two to let you know they got something even worse coming down the pipe on dating apps, and it's AI. Yes, it is AI. AI is an awful, horrible idea for dating and mating. I'm saying that right now. And I'm not saying that as a person who is quote unquote against technology, or I'm somebody who is against change. All right, I embrace a lot of aspects of technology in my life. I'm not anti-tech, but what I am is anti-digression. See, some people say they're progressive, but when you look at what they produce, is actually digressive. See what I'm saying? Some people say, oh, I like evolution, but when you look at the outcome of what they're producing, it's actually devolution, okay? They're devolving. See what I'm saying? A good example of this is go online to YouTube. There's a Simpson cartoon called Homer Evolving. Look at that, okay? It shows basically a quick cartoon on the theory of evolution, and it's Homer Simpson, right? And it's real funny stuff, okay? But if you look at that cartoon, Homer is evolving out of a cell, out of, the ocean, out of being a reptile, out of everything, a monkey and an ape, to being a man. And then he sees Mo, right? Mo, the bartender. And Mo is devolving, okay? He's going from a man to a muskrat to something that he start crawling. I thought that was very, very critical. If I could use that meme, I would. But essentially, why is that important? Because everybody's trying to sell you on the idea that AI is the next evolution of man. It's the next evolution of behavioral. It's the next evolution of relationships. I disagree with that. I think it's devolution. I think it's devolving. It's devolving man's intelligence. It's devolving, quote unquote, human beings as a whole, and it's devolving dating and mating. All right? And the reason why I say that is because on these dating apps, these companies are now trying to adapt AI to quote unquote run the company. Now, right off the top, you already know what comes with that. Those layoffs are going to be coming. All right, that's only a really small fraction of it, and it's unfortunate that people lose their jobs, but it's going to happen. But what makes it even worse is that if they set that quote unquote dating app up to where it's just AI, you're going to have horrible customer service. You're going to have a plethora. I don't even want to think about how many fake profiles are going to be AI. We already see Hollywood is trying to literally, they signed a contract with a company that made an AI actress. And this woman, literally, this fake woman that they put on the camera, I think they got her in cartoons and commercials and stuff. This is some serious shit. Now, once again, they're not going to stop just there. They're going to allow these companies to produce fake profiles. Guess what else they're going to do? They're going to let people use AI to create their profiles. What am I saying? You're going to see on these dating apps where you don't even know you already don't know what kind of person you're talking to. You already don't know that. Everything on the dating app, in my opinion, is all by chance. You're going by fate. You swipe on somebody, you're talking to a woman, you're going by fate that it's a real woman, that it's a real woman of age, that it's her real picture, she's actually where she's located. See what I'm saying? And you're actually really talking to her. That's a lot of fate that you're going by. But we now know that a lot of that is not happening. A lot of people are talking to people who are not what they call that catfishing. See what I'm saying? A lot of people are getting catfish. A lot of people are getting what's called transfish. So I'm sorry, I gotta say it. Shout out to the Rainbow Crowd, but there's a lot of people on there transfishing people. There's been several people, women. There's been women complaining about that, saying that there's this company in Australia. They had a big lawsuit about it, and there's this company called Tickle. It was a case about Tickle versus Giggle. All right, and essentially a lady, she made a dating app, and it was supposed to be for lesbians. From my understanding, I think it was supposed to be for lesbians. If I'm wrong on that, I apologize. But I think it was supposed to be for lesbians, and it was supposed to be for only biological women lesbians. Okay, and a quote unquote rainbow person. That's all I'm gonna say. That person sued that company in Australia, and that person won. Okay, they won. And I don't want to get into the details of the legality, but essentially that's what a lot of people call T-fishing. T-fishing. You saying you are a quote unquote man or woman, but that's not what you are. That's beyond just catfishing. See, catfishing is when someone presents themselves, meaning they are quote unquote giving you their real name, and they're giving you their real location. But when you look at their profile picture, it's a profile picture that might be 10 years old. See what I'm saying? Let's say they are actually, I don't know, I'm just going to use numbers. Let's say that they're 32 years old, but they put a profile picture of them being 21. See what I'm saying? And we know that's a long time. That's almost 10 or 11 years. So now this person is putting a picture up there of them that's not the actual current modern day status of them. That's called catfishing. All right, and you do have catfishing on more extreme levels, because you do have people, and no offense to anybody, but I've heard about the quote unquote skin color catfishing. Yeah, we got that going on, where there are men and women saying they are. I'm just going to use myself for example. If I go online and create a profile, and I say I'm a 6'6" white man, right? And then I show up in public, and you say, "Damn, Alpha, you're a 6'6" black man." That is skin fishing. That's I don't want to say the R word. That's the R word fishing. You get it? That's what's going on these profiles. See? That's why I told y'all you got to get off the dating apps. But when they create this AI version of it, it's going to be on steroids. Because if you look at some of the AI videos now you can clearly look at them and you can tell it's AI, but some of these things are getting very, very close. They are getting very, very close to where you like, is that really a real person? I mean, they're doing things with AI now where they're making the president look like he's doing stuff that he didn't do. They're recreating, reenacting certain crimes to try to put more emphasis on things. There's people suing people now because they're taking their image and they have them doing quote unquote corn. They're getting into pornography and stuff like that. I mean, it's all over the place. And right now, the government, in my opinion, they have not caught up with the quote unquote laws of privacy, false identification. They haven't caught up with that stuff yet. I really wish they would, but they can't even come together on funding Homeland Security. So don't hold your breath, okay? I did a video on that. Go check out that one. Don't hold your breath, okay? But the purpose that I'm trying to make for this video is, once again, you have to get off the dating apps. All right, this AI stuff is not going to make the situation better. It's going to make them better. It's going to make their situation better. Meaning, if they can still think about this for a second, if they can keep all the people on them dating apps on the dating apps, meaning they constantly swiping looking for somebody, and this person does not exist, and then if they do, they can give them a quote unquote AI personality, right, to talk to them, right, to give them quote unquote a like back and to get a conversation going with them. And they keep baiting them, like a hook, a worm on a hook, right? And then they can quote unquote remove half of their workforce. That's a big profit for them. That is an amazing business plan for them. I don't have to keep human beings around, and I can keep desperate human beings on my app talking to a robot. Okay, that's gonna tell them anything to keep them spending money. That is a wonderful business plan. See what I'm saying? That is an amazing business plan. But that's a bad deal for you. See what I'm saying? AI is a bad deal for you. That's a rotten deal for you. And let's add another layer to this. AI, in terms of dating and mating, what they're going to do is they're going to take all their information from surveys and research articles and just plug it into the computer. Now, right off the top, you should be thinking, that's a bad idea. Why? As I keep telling y'all, statistics is only an arrow. That's all it is. It's an arrow to say, take a look. It's not the final answer. All right. Shout out to a guy called Bam Adebayo. Shout out to the late great Wilt Chamberlain, and shout out to the late great Kobe Bryant. All three of those men scored over 80 points a game. Kobe 81, Adebayo 83, Wilt a 100. For Wilt's 100, all we have is hearsay. We have people who attended the game. We have the statistician who recorded it. It was not on TV. And they said he hit 100 points a game. We're taking it by their word. So be it. We have Kobe Bryant who scored 81. I think it was in 2002, or I'm not sure, 2002 or maybe 2004, one of those years. And it's all on tape. We can see exactly how he did it, against who he did it with and everything. And we now just have Bam Adebayo with 83. Out of that situation, two of the guys have more points on paper than one of the guys, right? Bam has 83. Wilt Chamberlain has 100. Kobe has 81. So Kobe is third. Statistically, he's third. But everybody now is acknowledging that Kobe Bryant's 81 is still the greatest of all three. They're still saying that. That's not to take nothing away from Bam. That's not to take nothing away from Wilt. But they all looking at the totality of the situation. They're not just looking at numbers. That's the problem with AI. AI in terms of dating and mating, They're going to get a whole bunch of research articles that have graphs and statistics that say this X, Y, and that is going to give you a bad deal because all AI is going to do is look at numbers. It's not going to give you the totality and the context of things that people do in dating and mating. That's number one. Number two, what have I told y'all about dating and mating stats? I'm going to say it again. The number one reason why dating and mating stats are very inaccurate, most of the time, not all, is because people lie. Okay? It's just that simple. Women lie in dating and mating, and men lie. What am I saying? When they do their surveys, when they do their research studies, and they talk to men and women are going to lie. They will lie. I can prove it. A woman will tell you what? I only date men who are 6 feet tall. Right? That's what a lot of women are saying nowadays. I only date men who are 6 feet tall. If you ain't 6 feet tall, I'm not going to talk to you. Okay, then we ask that woman, tell us about your dating history. The heights you had of your last 5 boyfriends. Well, the last one was 5'7". The other one was about 5'9". He was about 5'11". He was about the same height as me. How tall are you? 5'6". Oh, okay. So the last 5 guys you dated were 5'6", 5'7", 5'9", and 5'11", right? But now you got this new standard that you want 6 feet. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Well, not really, because if I meet a guy and I like him, I'm not gonna. You see how this goes? You see what I'm saying? That's a real simple example of how, if you look at a survey, if you take a survey of 100 women, they're going to say 100 women all said they want 6 feet and above. But the reality is, when you look at their dating history, they got 5'5", 5'2", 5. And when we say dating history, we know what that means, right? My dating history. Okay? In street language, did you give those guys the cheeks? And they'll say, well, I don't want to talk about that. See what I'm saying? Yeah, she gave all those guys the cheeks. The 5'9" guy, the 5'7" guy, the 5'11" guy, they all got the cheeks. You get it? But now I want 6 feet. Because that's how they advertise themselves. To do what? To feel good about themselves. Even though that they know their value is going down. But that's another story for another day. The bottom line is this, y'all. AI is going to be taking information from all these so-called surveys and all these numbers and all these statistics, and they're going to throw it all together, put it in the machine, and then make these so-called fake profiles. And I'm already predicting they're going to be selling profiles to people. Meaning, you don't like advertising yourself? Here, buy one of my AI profiles. And we'll make it very close to you. All you got to do is fill in a few little things, and we'll do the rest. You see what I'm saying? It's not going to get any better with dating apps, y'all. I'm just here to tell y'all, dating apps, you got to get off the dating apps. They're trying to monetize you as much as possible. And once they put this AI into these companies, they're pretty much going to lay off, I can already see it, 75% of their workforce. And if this machine is doing all these profiles for people and have them talking to people, boy, that's a good day for those CEOs. They're going to get paid. That's a slam dunk. That's essentially like how I run my YouTube channels. I have 4 YouTube channels. And I do not go live on all my YouTube channels. I actually set up my YouTube channels to not go live. You know why? Because I can wake up, check my views, and I'm getting views in my sleep. See what I'm saying? Because the machine is pushing the views for me. I just upload my video and I'm done. See what I'm saying? But if I was a person that had to do a live every day, I wouldn't be able to do that. Yeah, you can still get views off your lives when you go to sleep. That is true. But if the majority of views is coming from lives, you screwed. See what I'm saying? Because now your audience is only looking to catch you. They're not really looking to catch your content. Meaning, I am my content. That is true. But I don't have to be on screen every day for y'all to quote unquote listen to me. If you find my channel, you're going to find my channel with my content, not just me doing lives. See what I'm saying? That's kind of why I don't. When I have my other channel, I'm still gonna stick to that format. I would do only one or maybe two lives a month. That's it. If you knew my other channel, that's what I did, and it was great. I would get some views off that, and people would comment and stuff, have their fun in the chat. But the rest of the month, that was it for me. I was getting views off all my other content, my videos that I pre-record and upload. That's the best way to do YouTube, in my opinion. That's just a little tip to y'all. But essentially, apply that mindset to the dating apps. See, if I don't have to have an employee sitting around watching these profiles and to check and see if a profile's good or not, if someone's real or not, I set it up, put the information in, I go to sleep or wake up. As long as they stand on there swiping, I'm good to go. That's a win for me. And all Match Group is going to do is they're going to run it with their worst dating app. They're going to run it with the worst one first. See, kind of work out the kinks, and then they're going to put it on the big dogs. Tinder have it, OkCupid will have it, Hinge will have it, and on and on and on. Just like multiple YouTube channels. So I wanted to tell y'all, not too long tonight, I wanted to tell y'all AI is an awful idea for dating and mating. If you are using AI to date and mate, I would highly encourage you to stop tonight. Stop right now, tonight, today, good morning, wherever you're at in this world. Get out and do what? Do something. I always tell y'all something. Get outside and go meet men, and for women, go meet your men and go out, and for men, go outside and meet women, because I do have female listeners. So I have to say that, because some people say, Alpha, why you tell women to go outside? Most of the time you talking about male advice. I do have women listeners. I acknowledge that. I understand that. So if you are a man, get outside and look for a woman. If you are a woman, get outside and look for a man. And I do have rainbow people. I don't know how this will help y'all. Okay. I'm actually trying to find a way. I got a few rainbow people that are looking at my book, and I actually have them trying to see if it can help with what they do. I don't think it could, because it's not about rainbow phobia. It's just that my book was written strictly for hetero. You see what I'm saying? The dynamics of rainbow dating, I'm still studying that. I'm still looking at it like, well, how would my book apply to them? See what I'm saying? How would rules and regulations apply to rainbow dating? See what I'm saying? How would you get it? It doesn't match up, because the overall goal of my book is for everybody to do what? Meet the biological imperative. See what I'm saying? We'll talk about that later on, what that is. And unfortunately, with rainbow people, if they're strictly rainbow, how you going to meet the imperative without the opposite sex? That's impossible. See what I'm saying? But that's another story for another day. So essentially on this channel, I tell you to what? I tell you to do something. If you're a man, get outside, look for a woman. If you're a woman, get outside and look for a man. Do not sit back and let AI dictate your life. Do not sit back and let AI tell you who's the best match for you. That's an awful idea. That's a rotten idea. All right? I'm not saying that you can't use AI in other aspects of your life. I'm not saying that. I'm sure there's going to be some aspects of human lives that AI can definitely make some improvements. I'm not denying that. But in terms of dating and mating, AI is a bad deal. No doubts about it. All right, y'all. I kept it short and sweet and simple. I didn't reach my goal of 30 minutes, but I'm not too far behind. 34, 35. It's me, it's your man, it's your boy, Alpha the First One. Check out all the channels. I'm on all the platforms. Y'all know how to find me. YouTube channel is called E-Ways Dating Tips by A11 or E-Ways Dating Tips by Alpha, or just E-Ways Dating Tips. Depends on what platform you're on. All right. Shout out to all the trolls out there. I wish all the trolls the best. And for everybody else,